friends. And so, in the following order, our companions set off through the dungeons of Darkguard Keep. Avrin, followed by Agatha, Rookone and Nova together, Sir Riordan briefly behind, Honoria, the wizard, in the back. And you're following the map. I'm guessing you gave a copy of the map to Avrin so she can kind of lead the way. Are we moving stealthily or not?
Try.
Yes.
Everyone can roll me stealth checks. Riordan at disadvantage because of the clanking. Yeah.
19 for Ruko.
21.
20 for Agatha.
17.
11.
So, the loud member of the party is actually Honoria in the back. Honoria, why are you so loud?
I probably am just so used at this point to Riordan making noise that she's probably not putting as much effort in as she would to stealth because she figures she's just, what's the point?
You failed the roll. Don't push it off.
Yeah, of course I am.
I failed it because Riordan's bad. Get out of me.
So you do your best to move quietly through these dungeons. You can feel the draft and the wind pushing through holes in the walls. This is a crumbling near ruin, but it's still serviced. There are torches lit here and there that stay aflame through some sort of magic, and their color is a darker and redder hue than a normal torch, and it gives a crimson glow to much of the hallways here. And as you're following through, you hear an occasional cry from another hall or another room of prisoners. Sometimes it just sounds like mad gibberish, a name repeated again and again. Sometimes it's in pain. Sometimes it's just loud groans and breathing. You do at one point pass a cell where you actually see a person because they're on your road through the dungeons to where you're going. And it's an older man. He barely looks up at you. He really just looks at your feet and your legs. He's bald. He's got a long white beard that's just a mess of dirt and grime. He's wrapped in tatters of clothing that barely exist anymore. He's almost nude. He's shivering in the corner. And past him is the door that you would recognize as leading to the section of the cells where you were locked up before, Nova, Rookone, and Agatha. So you're almost back to that point. So you're getting pretty close to the front of the dungeon, the area you're going towards. Are any of you doing anything particular as you go through?
I'm like every once in a while looking at Lily, directing my head at her and saying, "Shh, stay still, be quiet."
I'm keeping an eye out for any playing cards that might be on the floor, and or other things of interest, just anything out of the ordinary.
All right. Rookone, you can roll me a persuasion check. Nova, you can roll me a perception check. Anybody else?
I'd like to keep an eye out for any magical runes, glyphs, wards.
Are you sure it's not investigation?
I can do investigation, yeah.
Oh, man.
Honoria, roll me an Arcana check.
29.
29. I see a 12 investigation, a 0 persuasion from Rookone. Anybody else doing anything?
Agatha is keeping eyes and ears out for signs of undead, from the wraithy banshee woman we saw outside to obviously the more skeletal knights and things we've seen in here. Just very wary of those, and also just feeling for that wind that gives clues of where there are gaps in the walls.
Absolutely. Yeah, you can roll me a perception check as well. How about Avrin and Riordan?
Avrin would be, again, just she's keeping a little bit of distance between herself and the rest of the group as she's kind of scouting ahead and just making sure that there's nothing right around the corner, nothing imminently dangerous happening.
All right. Roll me a perception check, Avron and Sir Riordan.
Since Riordan's close to Rook, when he would hear him talking to Lily, at one point, as this narratively, here's what he's going to do, but mechanically, as an assist of some kind, he would turn and, Rook, my brother, this is going to be, I'm sure you can carry us through this. I will follow your lead. And this is not bullshit that he's feeding Rook to make him sound better in front of the girl. It's Riordan's best. This is what Rook is really like. You know, I trust him.
Okay. So Rook, go ahead and roll me another persuasion check then with his assist. See if you can do better than a 0.
Yeah, you got it, buddy.
She doesn't respond with words. She's only spoken once since you've seen her after her father died. And it was just to you, just that once. But she is being relatively brave. She's being still. She's keeping an eye out as well as much as she can from where she's kind of hidden in your pouch. And she does make eye contact with you when you speak with her. For a moment, she doesn't seem to trust you. She almost shifts away from you, and then she hears Sir Riordan's words. And she looks between the two of you, and then ducks back into the pouch and just keeps an eye out, her ponytail hanging over the edge of the cloth. Honoria, you can tell that the torches here are magic. You can tell that there's a lot of ancient magic in this building, in this keep. But the dungeons themselves, relatively left alone. Faint flickers of old magic spells, terrible spells cast on individuals. You can see the imprint of that black magic in the cells and on the walls. But it's old. It's a memory. You do feel an incredible magic somewhere above. With a 29, I'll tell you, it feels like not at the top of the tower, but at least not in the dungeons. There's a source of magic up there that is just overwhelmingly dark and powerful, transmutative.
I'll say nothing in that regards then. Won't bring my companions any peace of mind, and I can tell they're already tense.
Nova and Agatha,
Yes.
you keep your eye out and your ears out for signs. Nova, you haven't found any playing cards yet. This isn't where you played cards. You know, that's a little further in.
Mm-hmm. I know he picked him up and he threw some of them at me, but he still had others, so, you know.
You haven't seen any yet, but you've got your eyes out. And Agatha, you keep your ears out and your eyes out for signs of undead. You don't see any. You remember the green glow of the banshees before. You hear sounds that sound like footsteps, and then it's just the scurrying rat. It's just the pressing of the wind against broken, crumbling stone. There are phantom sounds and phantom sights, but when you look closer, the shadows, they're just shadows. You haven't seen anything yet. There's the old man that you just passed by who won't make eye contact with you. Auburn, you've moved ahead a little bit, and you turn the corner following the map, and you see a series of 4 cells. 2 of them have been broken open and shattered by force. Like the bars have been bent in one case and the door has been blasted off in the other case. And then you see another pair of cells a little further in, and then a door. The door is shut. It's another cell door. And in the cell right before the door, you see a young skinny, starving half-elf boy, also wearing tatters of clothes. And he was sitting down. You see him stand up and kind of press his face to the bars and look around. And he sees you there, and you see him. He doesn't say anything. He looks scared.
She just presses a finger up to her lips.
Roll me a charisma saving throw.
Oh, fuck me. Gonna use an inspiration on that. Nope. That's a 3.
You haven't eaten in 4 or 5 days. And you sometimes are able to forget about it. Most of the time, it's always in the back of your head. Right now, it's pounding. You can feel the hunger beating against your chest where your heart once beat.
And as right before she finishes the shush motion, her hand clenches. And she looks behind her for a moment. And then will, as quietly and quickly as she can, get up to the cell.
Roll me a stealth check.
17.
You're able to get to the cell.
And as she's looking at this boy, for a moment, her mind flashes to the boy that she let go when she had Hawthorne let go in Hearthalen. That the hunger is a lot. And it's everything she can think about. And she'll just reach her hand in and press her hand to his forehead and start to feed.
Roll me initiative. The boy smiles at you as you reach your hand through, and then his mouth peels back and away in both directions. You can see his face elongating and growing quickly, his shoulders in the massive, muscular, scaled, broad things. And in a moment, as you reach through the cell door flies open, knocked off of its hinges, and you are struggling with a large, much larger than other draconians that you've seen in the past, silver scaled draconian wearing half plate mail. It's on top of you, snapping at you with its maw, even as you briefly touch its nose. Go ahead and make your attack. You will get to go first, and we'll bring everyone else in here after the first round.
Okay. Fuck. Okay, I think that's enough to at least take the hunger away and just go into survival mode. And she's gonna bring
I think so.
she's gonna bring up the tonfa and just crack it across. I get advantage because I assassinate. I went first.
Yep.
25.
25 is a hit.
Right, and then sneak attack. So 20 total damage.
Excellent. So you crack it with your tonfa. Are you doing anything else in your turn?
Bonus action, disengage. Move away.
All right. And are you running back towards the rest of the group?
Yep.
All right. You run back to the corner. Are you doing anything else?
I think I call out, there's something in there. Just to warn the others.
as you run back towards where you came from, you start to pass. You get to the point of the 2 broken cells, the ones that were already broken open, and you call out. Everyone else can go ahead and roll me initiative, and I'll get you in here in this order in just a moment. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do this now while it's easy.
7.
I like these initiatives.
13.
Strong 9.
All right. Hey, look at Rook.
There you go, Rook.
Get the. All right. Perfect. All right. So you all hear the cry go out from around the corner. You recognize it's Avrin's voice. Avrin, as you get there to the second row of cells, you see shapes both from your left and your right. They looked like stone at first, but they are draconians that had camouflaged with the stone of the walls. These draconians you've seen before. They are the Capek draconians, the ones that usually are scouts and archers, and they can kind of blend into their environment. They move to spring at you, even as this larger creature, this one that had knocked down the gate and had charged you, the one you were slipping away from, moves for you. He will get to go, and then we'll be up to the top of initiative, which will start with Brooke-Own. So...
Okay, so...
the draconian, the large silver draconian's going first.
Well, that's dumb.
And he's going to make 2 claw attacks and a bite attack. The claw attacks are going to be an 11 and a 13.
Those miss.
And the bite attack is going to be a 24.
Yes, that hits.
And be 16 piercing damages. He's clawing, swiping at you. He finally barely reaches you by stretching out his long reptilian neck, and he takes a bite, grabbing onto the back of your leg, even as these other 2 draconians are coming at you from the side. So 16 total piercing damage there. Rook-Own, it's your turn.
So with deft swiftness, like cradling Lily, shh, don't move. And he'll slip the rope from underneath him and set her in the corner of the hallway. And then bonus action to rage. And then charging attack on the draconian that's on top of Avrin.
The one that's right behind Avrin. And there's enough room for 2 of you to be side by side in these halls. So you are now up right parallel with Avrin. Go ahead and make your attack. This draconian, the silver draconian, he's so large that he takes up twice the width of Rook-Own. He's larger than Rook-Own.
All right, so that is a 14.
You charge him, and you, with your horns crack against his plate mail and bounce off. And for a second, you're back, you're reeling, you're dazed. This thing stands up and it begins to reach for the hilt of a greatsword that's sheathed over its back. You got anything else to do?
Do I have advantage with Avrin being a presence and attacking in the same?
Not because he's not flanked.
Gotcha. Okay. Yes. I wanted to. Okay. It's whenever I hit a creature. So, no, I don't.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then wait, I can. I know I use my movement in my attack. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
Oh no, I have 2 attacks. So I have the
That's
charge.
what I thought.
And then I'm gonna attack again with my horns.
Yeah.
Oh, the basic shit. Okay. 22.
That is a hit.
Okay.
So he stands up and reaches for his sword. He hisses at you, and then you're able to hit him.
Gotcha. So that's that's 13. Because I forgot to add my rage damage. That's 13 damage, and then I get to use my reaction on hammering horns to attempt to knock him prone as spend my reaction.
Right, so it's athletics versus athletics.
Yes.
He rolls an 11 or a 12.
I have advantage because I'm raging, and that's a 31.
So he rears back, grabs the hilt of his sword. He hisses at you, crack him a second time, and this time he doesn't take it so well. You catch him right in his snout. You actually tear through some of those silver scales. You can see a black ooze trickling down, and he goes down to one knee. He is prone.
Gotcha. So then I will use the free action of that aspect to make a grapple attempt. Of the hammering horns?
Yep. He scores a 20 on his athletics check. Go ahead and roll yours.
28.
So how do you wrap him up?
So after missing with the charge attack, I rear back, I smack him with my horns again, and as he falls down, throw my weight into him and then grab the part of his elbow that he's trying to brace himself with and shove it into his face so he can't use anything against me.
Absolutely. So he's struggling, like his elbow is stuck into his face. He can't get to his sword. He can't unsheath it. He can't bite you. You've got him locked down for the moment. Avrin, it's your turn.
Cool. This thing's locked down.
Yeah, and prone, so you have advantage on him.
Yeah, gonna hit.
Now you do have the two draconians coming, one of them coming at you now and one of them coming at Rookone.
Okay. If I move, will that prompt? If I move to the other side of this bigger one, will that prompt an opportunity attack?
You can't actually squeeze through him. He's too large.
Okay.
He's basically clogging up the path forward.
Okay. Then I'll just hit him.
Into 23 is a hit.
9. Use
Slash your sneak attack.
Yeah, but I'm gonna use my offhand first.
Okay.
And a 15.
A 15 does not hit.
Okay. Sneak attack on top of that. So that is 18 points of damage.
All right. So you crack him while he's down, and you, for a moment, like he doesn't look like it looks like Rookone has complete control of the situation. Are you staying there?
I am going to whirl around towards the one that seems to be advancing on me. And how far away is the wall from me?
If you were to run back in the opposite direction towards the rest of your friends, it's about 30 feet to the T intersection.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna stay there and just be facing now this new one that's coming up on me.
All right. The Sivak goes, the Silver Draconian, and he's not going to try to break. Instead, he's just going to try to snap at you. So he'll have disadvantage on his 3 attacks versus Rookone. Rookone, this is going to be a 10 on the first claw attack, a 12 on the second claw attack, and a 10 on the bite attack. So you do manage to hold him down. He's snapping at you, and you've completely got him. Meanwhile, Agatha, it's your turn.
Can I quickly clarify the position of the enemies?
So
and my allies?
imagine you are in the south side of a T intersection, right? And Rookone just ran up and to the right.
Okay.
He took a right-hand turn, and you can hear fighting that way. And you're just before the T intersection.
So I'm gonna move up and find out what's going on around that corner.
As you turn the corner and you're looking down, you see the cells that you pulled Rookone and Vishard from. You see a giant silver draconian being held down by Rookone. Roll me a perception check. You see Avrin there facing a side cell.
7.
You're not sure why she's facing side cell.
All right. Agatha, because I'm imagining Rookine's got this guy in a grapple. He's kind of half down, right? He's down on one knee.
Mm-hmm.
Can I see the corridor beyond?
Yes. Yeah, there's a door there.
All right, so use my bonus action. Actons here, and just becomes mist and jets forward to the other side and draws that great sword. And you hear Elinata Okfar, and just as a crackle in the air as I activate my lightning rod, and I want to make an attack.
Great. Yeah, so you're hitting the silver draconian from the back. So you'll have advantage on this.
All right. Sword is there. 24.
That's a hit.
All right, there's that. And then I've also got, where's my lightning? There. And that'll be 5 lightning on top of that as well. Just arcs down the sword.
Excellent. And do you have a second attack?
Off. The lightning sparks off and it like hits the cell bars because it has nothing else to go into, and she's not going to direct it towards her friend.
Okay.
And then second swing.
So I'll say the first swing comes down and your blade arcs with lightning. You can see the half plate of the draconian light up with charged electricity, and then that arc goes off and hits. Okay. Bring your blade down and the electricity arcs up your blade. It fries the draconian in his armor and then shoots off to the side, hitting one of the bars of the cell next to you. And it's then that you see, as the lightning's arcing between bar and bar and bar of the cell, that there's another draconian there in the cell about to charge out. This one's smaller. It's a Capac draconian. It's in studded leather armor. You do have your second attack.
Yeah, I'll pivot around if it's okay with you and just swing for him, just reflexively, just seeing that out the corner of my eye. Very familiar with fighting draconians.
Absolutely. And you rolled a 19 on your attack?
I did.
So a 19 will be a hit.
Perfect. Boop. For 11 slashing.
Perfect. All right. Anything else you want to do on your turn?
That is my bonus action, and movement. So I'm done.
Great. So the 2 draconians on the side leap through the cells. One of them now leaping towards Agatha, and one of them leaping towards Avrin. The one, and they're fighting with short swords. They'll take 2 swings apiece. Here are the 2 swings at Agatha. How about an 18 and a 15?
I'd like to use my reaction to cast shield on myself, which bumps my AC to an 18. So one of those will come through and the other one will be negated.
Okay. So this thing crashes through your shield on the first strike and it hits you with its sword, its short sword, and then the shield forces it back and it tries to crash through again, and this time it cannot. You will take 6 piercing damage and make me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Is this against poison?
It is.
Okay, I am resistant to poison damage.
All right.
22.
So yeah, you're able to shrug off the effects of this. You don't take any additional damage, and you don't take the poisoned effect. The 2 attacks at Averin, a 9 and a 16.
16 will hit.
All right, make me a Constitution saving throw.
All right. Gonna use a inspiration on that. Nat 20.
Absolutely. So this thing comes at you from the broken cell door, and it slashes up with its short sword, and then it slashes across its body with its short sword. You're able to avoid the first one. The second blow just catches you. You're not affected by the poison, but you do take 6 slashing damage.
Okay.
And it's Sir Riordan's turn.
Okay.
Followed by Anoria.
Riordan's going to move forward, but before he does so, he's going to cast a glance back behind them to see if there's anything that they walked past on their way in. Like, it, you know,
Roll me a perception check.
this is my specialty. 19 isn't bad for the old man.
So you're looking in the other direction. This is a T intersection. They took a right. There's a door ahead of you that's closed, but as you're looking in that way, you can see through the half moon barred window in the door 2 more draconians. You recognize them to be Ba's draconians, and they're storming towards the door.
Is there any way to bar the door from this side to buy us time?
Are you trying to just like hold it shut yourself with an athletics check, or you're trying to shove something in there?
Are these like cell doors, or are these solid
Yes.
doors? Oh, well then when they
They're
charge,
solid wooden doors with like little cell windows.
when they charge up, he's going to meet the charge and he's going to shove absolution through the bars into whatever one gets there first.
All right, I'm going to make you do this at disadvantage because this is a called shot. We'll say to shove the sword through the cell, but go ahead and give me an attack.
Can I spend an inspiration to make it regular?
Absolutely, you can.
Let's do that. 22.
22's a hit.
Let's roll this. 10, 9, re-roll that one. That's 12, and I'd like to pump a superiority die into that one to trip this lovely gentleman. DC 15
Absolutely.
strength, or he goes down.
All right, so yeah, he fails his saving throw. So you shove the blade through right as he's charging, and it goes right into his eye, and he pulls out. You can feel him yank away from your sword, and he drops. You're not sure if he's still up or not, or if you just knocked him down and kind of knocked him away from the door.
It would have given him 20 total damage would have come through.
20 total?
20 total, yeah. Would he be able to see, you said there was 2 coming in, right?
Yeah, you can see the other ones right behind him.
Would you say that I'd get a shot at him too if I wanted to?
Yeah, if you would say like you're basically holding your shot for them right as they're coming towards the door.
Okay, so I'm going to roll this one regular and save an inspiration because I think I'm going to need it.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and do at disadvantage then.
That's only a 23.
23 is a hit.
Okay, 13, and I'm going to throw another superior. No, I'm just going to take 13 on this one.
All right. This one crashes into his face. The draconian pulls back at the last second, so you don't get as solid of a hit, but you've managed to at least hold them off for a moment.
Dawn, I know you can't give me this answer, but if I kill somebody, I get a bonus action attack. Do I have a bonus action attack this round?
You do not have a bonus action attack.
Just checking. I'll hold the line here.
All right. Honoria, it is your turn. You've seen Sir Riordan run off to the door that's right ahead of you, and he's stabbing through its window. Everyone else took a right at this corridor, and you can hear fighting that direction.
So if I were to move up to the corridor and look left, you said it was a T intersection, right?
Yep. So if you look down the corridor, you would see Rookone and Avrin standing shoulder to shoulder. Rookone has a silver massive draconian on the floor. He's holding him down. You would see another draconian with a short sword and leather armor attacking Avrin, and then behind them, further down the hall, Agatha also fighting with one of the smaller draconians.
Would it be more than 60 feet away? The
No.
draconian from
Not from the intersection, no.
Right. Azrael barrier. And I will cast Blight at the one nearest Agatha at 4th level. Constitution saving throw.
Yeah. So that's a 3.
Don't think that quite makes it. So
Nope.
that'll be 37 necrotic damage.
All right. So Agatha, you describe what the blight looks like. Like, what is this effect, this magic?
The blight is kind of the dark energy washes over me at first, and again, kind of like the tendrils of help that you saw me put onto Rookone earlier. It kind of needles out from me in a thin line. If you've heard of the Fates from Greek, it would be like that life force and it being pulled tight and then snapped, even if it doesn't die.
You would see the struggle, Agatha, for a moment, and then the face and the scales of this draconian begin to distort, and then it melts, and it melts quickly in a pile of hissing, sizzling acid. I need you to make me a dexterity saving throw.
I would like to use my indomitable thingy-mabobby, please, to reroll.
Yes, absolutely.
19.
That's the perfect. So you're able to pull back away from the acid. Still, some of it catches you because it pulls out its entire body, its bones, its scales. It all turns into a puddle, and that puddle washes outward. It actually burns the silver draconian that's on the ground as well. You will take 8 acid damage. So you're taking half, which is only 8. All right. And Honoria, are you doing anything else in your turn?
No, for the moment, I'm just trying to stay as far away from the enemies as possible.
Have you used your bonus action yet?
I have not.
So I will say this for all of our spellcasters, because it's winter solstice, you all have...
Right. I am so used to not having the moon.
Yeah, so you have the lunar abilities now, whatever that means for your character. And I think for Honoria, it gives you a cantrip attack, right?
I can use a cantrip and a spell action in the same, but only if it's an action and a bonus action together, in which case I just cast Blight, which is a full action, and none of my cantrips are bonus actions.
Or bonus actions. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be good to know if I need to Misty Step away from anything, though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you can cast bonus action and an action.
No, you can't cast a spell and a bonus action spell in the same round.
So her
not a
ability,
spell and a bonus action spell. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
her ability lets her cast 2 spells a turn, but it's not applicable this particular turn.
I was like, you can't do a cantrip and a spell, but it has to be a cantrip.
Yeah, cantrip and a spell, but no, specifically my moon lets me be extra magic.
That's cool.
So
All right, Nova, it's your turn. You see Riordan shoving things through the window. You hear the fighting. Honoria is standing right at the T intersection in front of you. You just saw her cast a spell down the hall. It's your turn.
Okay, so I want to get to the T intersection so I can kind of see everything that's going on.
Okay.
And I call forth Mr. Pew Pew. I summon him, and I basically just, pull out Tinkered Set and I go, Mr. Pew Pew, it's time to go. And then, as a part of the same action, I'm going to use my movement to get into the little chair I've built on there, buckle up, and then command it to go 15 feet so I'm on the ceiling so I can see above everybody's heads and have a vantage point and not have to worry about hit people. And then I'm going to have it fire at, what's the one Rukon's fighting? One he's got all grappled nicely.
Okay. So you pull out of your arm, is that right? That you pull out this Tinker Set and it turns into a turret with a chair, an arcane turret. The turret flips upside down with you in it and goes and attaches itself to the ceiling and then levels its gun and it fires at the silver draconian.
Yep.
Awesome.
And I'm just going the whole time, just giggling. 20. I need to program into the sheet. It was not happy when I tried it earlier. So, do I have advantage because he's prone?
Yeah.
Let's see.
I'll give you advantage here.
Cool. It's 23 hit.
Yeah, 23 definitely hits.
Cool. That's 4 force damage.
It looks really cool though.
Mm-hmm. And I'm ready for next action when I can get bonus action, turret attack, and an action.
You can do the full thing.
Yes.
So you're on the ceiling now, and Rokon, it's your turn.
All right, so this guy's down. What's the landscape? So there's cells on either side.
One of the draconians just got melted. One of the draconians is kind of scrapping with Avrin. You've got the large draconian on the ground, the silver-scaled plate mail draconian. You still got him locked down. The other folks have been hacking into the draconian. I'll say at this point, like, he's not struggling as much as he was before, but he's still struggling.
And then how far away is Averin with hers?
She's just like next shoulder to shoulder with you, but hers is in the cell still.
And the door shut?
It's open. She's like fighting it through the door.
Okay. But sorry, the door was open. She's fighting it through the door, but the door's open. It's unlocked.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I reach through the open door and grab that one?
No, you'd have to reach through Averin. You could I would say if you want to trade your initiative with Averin or push your initiative back to after Averin's, and Averin is willing to move out of the way or provides you an opening, I would allow that. But right now she's kind of blocking you.
Okay. And then, so Averin and I are facing these two people. Who's behind me?
Honoria who is at the T intersection on the floor, and Nova is at the T intersection on the ceiling.
All right. And Riordan?
You don't see him.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hold my action and bait with Averin.
All right, I'll push you back to after Averin, which is right now. Averin, it's your turn.
Okay. Cool. Okay, I'm going to first try to feed off of this thing.
Do it. This is an intelligence saving throw.
Mm-hmm.
It fails. All right, so give us your whole thing. Throw it up there.
Yeah, hold on.
I'll read it to chat so that they can since they can't see it.
Psychic Drain. Why did go into chat, please?
All right, so Psychic Drain. One living creature that Averin can see must make a DC intelligence saving throw. It failed, so Averin, you regain 10 hit points, and they lose 1d6 intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. So you begin to feed off of the psychic energy of this creature, and it begins to snarl more bestial. Draconians are bestial, but they're intelligent. They're strategic. They're cunning. And now it kind of looks more like a beast. It smashes against the side of the wall. It clashes its sword against the side of the wall. It kind of holds its head for a second with its claws, and then it looks back at you and begins to move for you.
Okay, well, I'm bonus action disengaging, running. And whatever wall's closest to her, she's going to start up.
Okay. Yeah, so you run back to the T intersection, and you're now on the wall, like right next to Nova. But like, I imagine you crouched vampire style up in the corner. Anything else on your turn?
Nope.
All right, Ruko, I'll let you take that shot now.
Oh yeah, grapple time. 24.
24 is enough. So are you knocking him prone, or what's your plan here?
Yeah, I'll use the.
You have to hit him first, right?
Yeah. So I'm gonna attack with horns.
Okay, make that attack. That's a hit.
All right, and then
so you use we'll call your athletics check and knocking him prone with the hammering horns.
Mm-hmm.
What's your damage there?
Oh, with the horns. Hold on.
Mm-hmm. 9.
Plus rage. Sorry, I forgot to click that. So it's 11.
So 11. Okay. Yeah, you crash. So this thing leaps through the open door at you, slashing its sword. You crash your head and your horns into this draconian, and it goes to the ground. You are able to basically. How are you holding this one?
So I have Beefcake on the ground, taking up a lot of space, and the one peers out the jail cell to go after Averin, and then I grab his arm, pull him to the ground, headbutt him, and shove him into the floor. And,
right, so...
and then my rage and desire to end the two draconians, I want to try to push their heads together and make them kiss.
Nova's clapping from the ceiling.
I mean, it's not kissing. They're trying to bite you, but you do manage to push their heads together.
And that's it.
All right. So it's the Civek's turn. He is going to try to break your grapple.
All right. I get advantage. Oh boy.
Yeah, he gets a 27.
Yeah, that's just an 18.
Okay, so he breaks your grapple, pushes up away from you, and tries to push past you down the hall. And he's starting to pick up steam, starting to charge towards Honoria and Nova and Averin, who are at the T intersection. I'll give you an attack of opportunity here.
All right, with horns?
Yeah, you can use your horns.
12.
Yeah, you catch him on the back of his plate, and it just, again, your horns bounce off of his plate harmlessly, and he's starting to barrel past. He won't get to attack this turn, but he does draw his greatsword, which is an oversized greatsword. It's nearing Buster's sword size. That's his turn. Sir Riordan, make me an athletics check. Are you so you
Don, that's a double natural 20 for everyone. It's a double natural 20.
Double natural 20. You feel the bodies of both, one after another, the boss draconians smash against the door, and they can't get it open with you standing there. You hear a thud and then another thud. But it doesn't even budge against you, and you're able to very easily continue to hold your position, and you'll be able to stab again on your next turn without having to have the door open if you want to try that. Agatha, it's your turn.
Oh boy.
You see Rookon has one of the leather armored draconians on the ground right in front of you. The big one has gotten up, broken free of Rookon, and is barreling down the hall towards Avrin, Nova, and Honoria.
All right, so it's like the other side.
Mm-hmm. But there's enough room that you could rush past if you'd like. You'd have to take an attack. There'd be an opportunity attack against you from the Draconian on the ground.
Okay, how about this? I say, release him. I'll finish it. Get after the other. Because it's a free action to drop something, right? And then I want to try and decapitate him as soon as Rookon gets the hell out of my way. And I can swing my greatsword.
Rookon, do you let go, or do you just kind of like position the head?
Well,
You have the option here.
Oh yeah, I'll position the head if I can be aware of what's going on.
Yeah. All right, you get an advantage on this because it's prone.
Okay. Shall we?
That's a hit. What's the damage there?
12.
Yeah, you bring it down overhead. Rookon is holding on to it. He kind of positions the head. It's struggling a little bit. You bring it down. You feel your blade cut through scale like butter. The head goes rolling half a foot, and then it all begins to melt. I need you both, Rookon and Agatha, to make me dexterity saving throws.
Mm-hmm.
Advantage on things I can see.
You can see this. The Draconian that you were holding on to melts into a pool of acid and then rushes out into the fall. Both of you make your save. You're able to avoid it without too much of it, the acid splashing up onto you, but it's impossible to avoid it all. There's just so much of it when this Draconian melts. And you will both take 8 acid damage.
Okay. Just checking something really quickly.
Sure. And it is still your turn, too.
All right, I'm actually going to use my reaction to unleash absorb elements, and I'm going to suck up that acid damage into my sword.
Awesome.
And just running down the corridor after that other one so I can make my second swing.
Go for it.
Nail him, hopefully, in the back. That's my plan. 14?
Yeah, so you come back behind and the tail, the Draconian's tail, raises up. It's not purposeful. It's just the movement of the tail and how heavy and strong it is hits you and actually knocks you off your path and kind of smashes you into the side of one of the cell doors. So you're not able to get to him this round.
Okay. That is it for me. I have a bonus action, but I don't think I have anything really worth doing. Let me see. Yeah, no, that's it. I think so.
All right, so Riordan, it's your turn.
Okay, Dawn, when this thing came charging, when Beefcake came charging down the hallway, he reached Honoria but couldn't do anything, correct?
He hasn't quite gotten to the T intersection yet behind you.
Okay, so Honoria's not engaged? Not in, like, melee?
Not in the moment, no.
Okay, can Riordan get to Beefcake?
Yeah.
Okay, so Riordan's going to, like, pound the door one more time and then turn and run back towards Beefcake, all the while screaming at the Kender on the turret on the ceiling, "They're coming through the door!" as he runs, and he's going to slide on his knees and go for a swipe, and I should get advantage because I've got a dwarf on the other side.
That's right, yeah, you do. It's flanking here.
Okay. Let's do this. 25.
That's a hit.
I get to reroll both of those, so take 3 off, it's 5. Plus 6 is 11. Plus 4 is 15. And to keep this thing down, he's gonna... Now he's just gonna attack again. No superiority die.
All right.
So 15 into it. 18.
No, that's a...
28. That's
natural
20.
20.
That's right, I'm flanked.
It's a natural 20.
Natural 20. 15, do I get to reroll any of that? Nope, so that would be 30 plus 5, right? It's not rolling the nat 20 for me because that's the...
Yeah, I gotcha. So how are you attacking this thing?
He went low, and then he slid on his knees against the metal against the stone, and as he swept through and took the legs out, as it begins to fall, he flips Absolution to his offhand and swings for the back of its neck, guiding with his his dominant hand, the blade point going towards the base of its skull. He knows how to kill these things. He likes to end it with just a bit of a pinprick and then jump the fuck back, because you never know exactly what's going to happen when you hurt these things.
So this large, lumbering silver draconian is picking up speed. You can feel the dust falling from the ceiling as it's moving. The walls are shaking. You turn the corner, you slide, you slice it in the leg. It goes down to one knee, still sliding forward towards Honoria, almost as though it can't stop at this point. And you hit it in the back of the neck with your second backswing. And you cut through its neck, and it crashes to the ground and rolls over onto its side. And in the blink of an eye, you're not looking at a silver draconian. It's changed, and it looks just like you, except for its eyes are pale and silver, blood on its face, staring straight up at the ceiling.
He pays it no mind. He's probably seen himself on the field of battle many times, if that's the case. So he just looks down and turns back towards the door, stepping over his own corpse, and brings Absolution up, and looks over at the dwarf and says, "Shoulder to shoulder, Agatha."
I got draconians to kill.
And then just under, I guess they'll take position just underneath the Kender on the turret. That's the safest place in the world, is out of its firing radius. So with the Kender flipped upside down above him, that's where he's going to hang out.
Excellent. That brings us to Honoria then.
I'm pretty happy with staying at range at the moment. Whatever one of them is farthest away from me, I'd like to cast White on again.
So there's none that you can see. He said there's some coming through the door. You could ready a spell for when they open the door.
Okay, yeah, hold action, because I don't have anything that can collapse on them. No, the Kender might come down if that happens. No, that's not a... Never mind. I ready a spell action.
Okay. Nova, how about you? Oh.
Did all sorts of weird stuff. I can't see any of them, right?
No, but Sir Riordan's pointed out the door that he says some are coming through.
Okay. Is there no, like, little window with bars?
There's like a little, there's a little, like, prison window with bars.
Okay, because I can't hold my action and a bonus action, right?
No, I mean, if you want to move your entire, if you want to change your entire initiative to later, I'll allow that.
Or I could try to fire the turret through the bars.
I would let you try. Yeah, you have to make the shot a disadvantage if you want to try to shoot through the doors and hit one of them.
Sure, and then I'll hold my action for when they get through the door.
Okay.
Do it.
Yeah.
Take the disadvantage shot.
All right. 22 or 14?
14 is a hit.
Yes! And I read that this could actually push them back 5 feet. So 8 damage, force damage, and they get pushed back 5 feet.
All right, so you shoot through the bars, and the energy disperses and goes around the bars, and it hits one. You can see it looks like a brass draconian, the snarling face and one missing eye, and it strikes it right in the face. And you continue to see it afterwards, after the blast disperses. It's turned entirely to stone.
Oh. And I will wait for the door to come down, and I'm ready a firebolt to shoot at it.
Okay. Averin, it's your turn.
I'm just chilling on the ceiling right now. Just watch this Kender shoot through the door. Yeah, she's gonna pull out her bow and arrow and just position herself and wait until something comes through.
Perfect. Rookone.
So the folks are hanging out in like the T of the hallway. We have folks on the ceiling and a turret on the ceiling and a Nova. And so in the direction where the Draconians are, no one else is there, correct?
Yeah, so what you see from where you see T intersection, Nova and an arcane turret on the ceiling, Avrin on the wall, bow drawn, Honoria on the ground, readying a spell. They're all facing this other door that you can't see unless you were to run through there and go around. But they look like they're readying an attack and waiting for a moment to all attack at once.
So I'm in the area where there are cells and they're empty.
That's right. Yeah, you're in the back of everybody right now.
So I'm going to look up and try to find the most intact cell door, like the jail cells where it's, and I'm going to grab it and try to rip it off its hinges.
Roll me an athletics check.
These are the ones that we broke Rukon and Vishard out of, right?
That's right.
So there's some greasy iron bars in one cell.
Yeah, one of them's still greasy. You remember it very well. You got
26.
Yeah, you rip one of the doors off its hinges. You have to try real hard, but you get it.
And then I want to, so I'm assuming, maybe it covers a square, maybe 2 squares, depending on the size of the door and the way I'm turning it.
Uh-huh.
So I want to go where they are in the direction of their looking, put the door in front of me, like that's the shield now, and then start marching forward.
Okay, so you're able to do this and then get in front of them. You squeeze around, and basically Rukon has stepped in front of Nova, Honoria, and Avrin and set this barred door. And it is just the cell bar series in squares, so you can see through it pretty easily. And he's basically prepared it as a sort of barricade for when these things burst through, which they do. 2 of them burst through. You can see the one that's turned to stone behind it. Go ahead. The first one looks injured. The second one is fresh. Let's have Honoria make her attack first.
Sorry, that's a 38 damage, DC 15 Constitution saving throw for Blight. Yes.
It fails its saving throw. So describe this blight attack.
Muted. Same as last time. Dark energy coming inside of Honoria, one of the lines of fate going and connecting, and it pulling taut until it breaks, which is essentially the signal that they failed a Constitution saving throw. Otherwise, the string would remain taut, and she pulls that life force out of it.
That spectral string snaps, and as it does, the draconian slides across the ground. That slide slows down as it turns over the course of not even a second, entirely to stone. You see it's there in its death throes, its twisting maw. The other one continues to rush past the 2 stone draconians. And Nova, go ahead and take your attack.
So Nova's just got her hand up. She's been itching this whole time, just waiting. 16 hit it?
16 does hit it.
13 fire damage. As
So
the palm of her gauntlet just heats up and it fires out.
You blast the draconian in the chest. It's stumbling forward. It has a long sword in hand, and it's about to slash at Honoria, but Avrin, you get an attack as well.
All right, gonna shoot the thing. 21.
21's a hit.
9 points damage.
All right. So you fire off a shot, and it sticks through the thing's forehead, through its scales, right as it's about to swing. And as soon as it does, it turns to stone. The sword falls from its hand and clatters to the ground. And then there's just a sort of quiet in the air. You don't, as you're looking forward down this hall, you don't see any more draconians rushing. We are out of initiative.
Nova's just swiveling on her turret. Is that all of them? Is that it? Is that all there was?
Honoria is going to go and stand over one of the stoned draconians or near one of the puddles of acid. Just kind of observe. Interesting. Where's the child?
Rook's got her. No?
I set her down in the hallway
set her
before I
down.
went into a rage.
Where is she then? Because Nova would have been keeping an eye on that. I didn't. She.
Rokon, roll me a persuasion check.
I'm going to use advantage on this because I don't know where it's coming from, and it's you. 14.
He's still there. She's pulled out a straw cot, what passes for a bed in the prisons from an empty cell, and she's placed it in the center of the hall, and you can see that she's ducked down underneath of it, and she's kind of been watching from a distance.
So my rage subsides. And I take the prison door, kind of like lean it up against the wall, and like exhaustedly like walk back to her. Did you see that? All of it.
And she looks up at you. She still looks exhausted, maybe more tired now than you've ever seen her. But she gives a nod of her head. It's almost dutiful, the nod.
Now, whose style of fighting did you like the most?
She kind of looks down the hall. She looks up at you. And for a second, she doesn't answer. And then she takes out her small dagger and she points at Sir Riordan.
That's a good choice. He's quite the warrior. How would you like to learn some things from him?
She gives another small nod of her head.
Good. At another time. I'll make sure that it happens.
Seems to me the master of this keep is expecting company.
That or they were just trying to slack off from fighting outside. I mean, they did a pretty good job of hiding. I was to slack off from a war outside, I would hide in the jail cells too. They're not gonna look for you there.
No, I think they were setting up an ambush.
Gonna keep this
What
on.
was the scene you came across when you found them?
The bigger one looked like a boy.
What could we possibly want to do with that boy? How's that a trap for us?
We should get moving.
I understand you wanted to let him go.
I borrow the sword that fell to the floor. And then I crawl back onto the ceiling and I ride for the 9 remaining minutes I have on Mr. Pew.
I'm gonna keep walking along, following the Kender as quietly as I can.
We continue on. It's not far now. Nova and Agatha are sure just a couple more turns in the hallways, a couple more doors, and you'll be to the stairs that lead up to the main entry hall of the castle. You can hear again the wind whistling through broken, crumbling stone. Now that you're this close to the gate, you can even hear the sounds of battle, very distant. Whatever's happening down in the town of Dargard below between the two armies, it's still happening.
We made a lot of noise. We should hurry.
Agreed.
You climbing the stairs?
Unstealthily, for Agatha's part.
Is anybody trying to be stealthy?
Absolutely.
Stealth checks.
I don't know, John. I've already been asked in this campaign if I have a death wish once, so...
I'm staying up on the wall.
Okay.
How long did it take us to get to the stairs?
You're still on the ceiling if you'd like to be.
Okay.
Riding your turret.
Yeah.
Can Kiana?
30 from... Kiana rolls a 30 in stealth, and
That's
Suri
not even natural. That's natural 20. That's just 30. I
Mr. Pew Pew is not terribly quiet, honestly.
No, Mr. Pew Pew is really loud with mechanical grating and wheels. Sir Riordan is clanking down the hall. This is not a stealthy trip.
Everyone, shh. Sorry.
You get to the stairs and you climb up to the entry hall. You can see now that the front gates are closed. They're massive. They're large enough to move an army through. This room, this entry hall is massive and Spartan. Things have been cleared away so to make for basically a staging area. So there's some equipment here, basic equipment that's been left behind, but the stairs continue up further. There's also some windows here on this level that you can look out from, and a couple of crumbled side passages, and one passage that seems to snake further into the keep on this level. Honora, you can make me a stealth check. Nova?
Oh, I did. I got a 10.
Oh, an Arcana check, sorry.
Oh, okay.
Nova?
That is a natural one.
Staging area, like equipment and things that they'll need during a fight. Like,
there's a lot of swords, a lot of weapons here, barrels full of ammunition. Much of it's been left behind kind of haphazardly. Okay.
So you're saying there's a lot of... Yeah. But just for clarification, there's a lot of flammable things in this room, Don.
Are we back? They say we're back. So Nova, what's your plan here?
So you're saying there's a lot of flammable things in this room? Is that that's what I'm asking?
I'll tell you, it looks like there's been fires here before. The stone is scorched and old. But yes, there's draperies. There are things that you could catch on fire if you wanted to.
How big is the room?
It's pretty large. We're talking about like 200 feet deep to the back wall from where you are right now, 100 feet wide, 2 sets of stairs that lead further up and around, and then the ceiling itself is at least 50 feet tall.
Okay, and no one's in there because they're all outside fighting?
There's nobody in here right now. You can hear now the sounds of battle much more clearly that you're this close to the front gate.
I really want to just fireball the room. How loud's a fireball, Don?
In your experience, they're pretty loud.
Okay.
We're upstairs. We need to come back down.
All right, I'll just...
Dynamite loud.
Okay.
In our passing, if I see like a short sword or anything on the ground, I'll grab that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You definitely find basic equipment here.
Just gonna firebolt like a barrel of arrows. It's not a whole thing, but a little less ammunition. I'm just gonna...
And there's the sound of a small explosion. The ammunition begins to burn with the barrels. The barrel crashes and cracks. The wood snaps and spills outward. Little pieces of fire all around.
You feel better now?
I do. I really do. It took a lot of restraint. I'm not gonna lie. To just not
save it.
That's what I'm doing. Let's just go before I get tempted again.
And I guess I will continue up. She's not being stealthy, but she is being aware as she walks. She's more worried about listening to other things than her being quiet.
Roll me a perception check. And Honoria, even though you can't pinpoint, even though you're getting close, you can't pinpoint the source of the magic or what exactly the nature of the magic is, you can still feel above you that very dark, very powerful sorcery.
Can I hear anything ahead of us or hear anything about this?
Yeah, roll a perception check. The Agatha got a 5 on her perception check with a 14 on your perception check, Honoria. I'll say that you can hear the sounds outside, but you don't hear anything beyond. It's hard to describe more than to say like the faint crackle, almost like the crackle of electricity above you somewhere.
Interesting. electricity not really existing, I'm guessing that I would feel like lightning or perhaps some small magical experiments or something like that. There is a power like lightning above us. That is all I can sense. My magic is muted here. She says, not knowing that she just critically failed her check.
Continue upward. Anybody else doing anything here? So you. Oh.
I'll do an Arcana check because lightning intrigues me because it's flammable.
It's kind of like fire. Yeah, give me an Arcana check.
11.
You can sense that there's a powerful magic above, but you're not sure what it is.
I'll just keep my ears out, my eyes open.
Tell me, and Agatha turns to Ceriadan. What do you know of the master of this keep in battle?
He is a swordsman without palm. If it can be avoided, we shouldn't fight him.
Noted.
Not today.
Don?
Yes.
Can I roll a history check just to see general knowledge of our Lord Buddysoth?
Absolutely. Roll me a history check.
That's a 19.
Yeah, I mean,
McStothy. Okay.
You know about the Lord Soth from your time, which is different than this Lord Soth, and you're not sure in what ways altogether, but you pieced together enough to know this. Lord Soth was a famous Knight of the Rose, one of the most noble and courageous in his time, definitely one of the best swordsmen of his time. But he broke the law. It said, had his wife murdered because he fell in love with another. He also committed adultery, and for these reasons, he was expelled from the Solamnic Order. You know that. You know that he refused his execution and that people were afraid of them, afraid of Lord Soth. So they kind of allowed him to retreat to his castle. The Knights of Solamnia sieged Dargard Keep for a long time, but Soth was able to hold them off.
My specific question is, would I know the name of his wife and mistress?
Yeah, I would say so. With a 19.
Okay.
He's an interesting figure, especially when it comes to dark magic.
Yeah. I wouldn't happen to know any of his songs or anything. Would that be getting a little bit too... Okay.
Not at 19, yeah. But you at least know the histories that historians, people who had actually read about him would know.
He likes fire.
I mean, who doesn't?
I look at you like, I really want to be scared of that statement, but I'm Honoria fucking Solanthus, so I'm just confused at your eagerness.
Continuing up the stairs then, Agatha leading the way, you reach the next floor, and this one, Rookone, you recognize. It's a cobweb-filled hall dominated by a bleak iron throne. You can hear the wind howling through the window here on the side of the room. You can hear the sounds of battle beyond. There are several passages leading away from the throne room. One of them crumbled, some of them open, and then the stairs continue upwards to the next level. And you can see at the top of the stairs on both sides 2 golden doors with something etched into the doors. Lord Soth is not here.
Riordan would look at Honoria. Aya.
This is the room. This is the room where we talked.
He would look at Rook, glancing down at his chest. Let's hurry. Let's hurry from this place.
Yeah.
Can I, being in this room and like having, experienced what I've experienced in this room, can I like my fishy sense is like there's something awry? Can I detect like loose stone on the floor or something?
Yeah, roll me a perception check, Rokon.
Yeah. All right.
You're looking around the room.
24.
And you feel for a moment being here before. You remember kneeling and then standing and refusing to kneel before the Iron Throne and before the Knight of the Black Rose. You remember his demand for you to tell him why you're here, who you are, why he's here. You remember him cutting you down. And as you kind of blink through those memories, that pain, you search around and it just feels empty here. But despite how empty it is, you don't find any traps, not in this room. Though he's not here, your hairs in the back of your neck still prickle upward. You can still feel him, his chill.
Be wary. The rest is not to be trusted. If we have someone amongst us who can detect for trickery, pits, traps, let's be on our guard.
Who's leading the way and where are they going?
Agatha would have slowed on this floor and allowed Rook to take the lead, if that is what he kind of seemed to be indicating. But as obviously Rook asks for someone good with traps, she turns and looks to Nova, who is the trickiest of people that she knows. Nova.
Yeah?
Can you do it? Can you spot someone else's tricks?
I mean, sometimes.
All right, then. Stay close to me and we'll be the front of the line.
Okay. Don't have to ask me twice. And by this time, Mr. Pew Pew's probably poofed.
Yeah, he's just breaking apart now.
And I just kind of pick up my tool, stick him back in a pocket, and then... All right, let's go.
All right, and are you... Roll me a perception check, Nova.
Okay. Natural 1.
Nothing, but those doors at the top of these stairs are very golden. And while everything else is decaying and old here, there's something still shining about them.
If I was to put something somewhere, I'd probably put something up there.
I'm still looking for runes on every floor. Magic.
Roll me an Arcana check.
28.
28. Finally, things come into focus for you. There are no runes here, but you can feel the lingering arcane magic that accompanies and trails Lord Zoth everywhere he goes. You can feel his imprint, like footprints in the snow here, and every stone, especially on that throne. And you can imagine him here spending his days sitting, not moving, not speaking, not acting, weeks, months, maybe years on this throne. And it's left part of him in the iron itself. But that's not what is most powerful here. There is a powerful ritualistic magic just above, beyond those golden doors. And you can tell that it's a magic that is vampiric in nature. It's meant to feed.
Are you creating more Kender, my lord? I'm gonna go and sit in his fucking throne.
Creating more Kender, nobody's killing Kender.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw.
I'm gonna use any advantage I have, by the way.
You do. You have one inspiration left after this.
Okay, that's a 17.
Okay, you'll take half damage here. 8 cold damage, which if you feel like she would weather 8 cold damage, then you can sit there. But you feel the chilling bite, the undead chill of Lord Soth, that energy that you remember radiates off of him, biting into you.
From my arcane ward, actually, it would eat into the ward instead of eating.
Okay, so you're able to hold it
probably
back.
would feel a light frosting sensation, but would be aware of the potential damage. Weird question, but magic is weird.
Yeah.
Is there any way I
Attach the
can
throne.
connect to him through the throne, mentally meditating? Try to do like a weird Voldemort, like get in his mind kind of thing.
Do you have any sort of divine scrying spell or any messaging spell, any spell to, or are you just trying to reach out with your feelings?
Just trying to reach out as I have before to Raceland and Nuitari, and with magic in general, the closest thing I have to any... I have scrying. I'm capable of doing that, but no actual messaging.
Roll me an Arcana check.
I'm going to use that last inspiration.
Okay.
For a natural 20.
I'll allow you to send Soft one message, and I'll allow you to simultaneously scry and see where he is just for a moment. You will take more damage.
I do not have the scrying spell prepared, so...
Okay. Well, with a natural 20, I'll let you, because you're connected to him through the throne, do this. I'll let you send one message, and I'll give you a glimpse.
I see. I have no idea what I would say to Lord Soth in this moment.
You don't have to say anything, but I'll give you a second to think about it as I describe to you where Lord Soth is. You don't see him through his eyes. You see him from a bird's eye view, and he sees you too. He looks up from the back of a great red dragon as it soars through the air. Flying side by side are 2 other dragons, both made of bone, their scales and flesh long since rotten away. They soar across the ground, flying above a large army, and then you can see that army too, all of them marching from a great city, a city on the water. They are marching southward, and it's an army of the dead, vampires, zombies, skeletons, specters, shadows crawling and creeping along the ground, led by Lord Soth and 2 other dragons. You get the sense that he's coming, and they're all coming.
I cover my mouth, and I'm going to whisper something to you, Don.
Okay. Because this is her in her mind, so unless she says something out loud.
Oh no, if I don't have to say it out loud, then no, I'm definitely braining that one. But what do I see?
He looks away from you and back out towards the horizon, and you can see now in the distance the slight breaking of dawn coming. He rides with the dawn, but where he rides, no light touches. The ground beneath him, where his army marches, no light touches.
Where is Lorana? Can I see her?
You do not see her. You do take 9 more cold damage.
That's fun. I will get off the throne.
You're quite done trying out the seat.
He is atop a red dragon, an army of undead candor. I did not see Lorana.
Then she is here, and we must leave.
Jinx.
After you.
So I have the I have Nova, and I have the shield in front of Nova. And then I'm being super cautious as well as we're walking to the area with like the 2 golden doors.
All right, and Rookon, are you pushing the doors open?
So there's nothing between us and the doors that like I would perceive. Okay. And so
the doors themselves are golden.
To me before you touch the door.
Okay.
Can I investigate the doors for specific traps that I would put in? Not
absolutely. Roll me an investigation check on the doors. And Rook Owner, do you still have Lily strapped to you, or are you giving her to Agatha?
Yeah, she's got me on my. I got her on my chest.
Natural 20.
You feel drawn to the door. You look and scour looking for traps. You don't see any traps. When you get to the door itself, at the top of the stairs, you can see etchings on it. And you would recognize the etchings. You've seen them before, but you don't recognize the religion.
Oh, okay.
Just recognize that they're religious in nature, and that when you've seen these etchings before, they've been crossed through and the word heretic has been written over them. Here, they're maintained.
I'll throw that out there for everybody to know as I look at these shiny doors.
Avon wants to take a look at it then and see if she can recognize the symbols.
Same. Big same,
Yeah.
Especially when religion is mentioned.
Yeah, Noria and Avrin can roll me religion checks. Avrin with advantage.
I believe in the power of explosions.
Is Avrin comes from a time when the gods were more common. All right, so I see a 12 from Noria and a 14 from Avrin. Avrin, you recognize it. It takes you a minute, but you recognize it as one of the holy symbols of Paladine, the Platinum Father, one of the gods of goodness. And I think Honoria with the 12, you would also recognize it. You're not entirely sure, you haven't seen this version of it before, but you get the sense that it's the Platinum Father.
My eyes drift over to Riordan. Say nothing.
It's Paladine. That's...
Bless you.
Yes,
Honoria chuckles.
Yeah, Avon just like... That's what those symbols are.
How do we open them?
Is the door trapped?
Nope.
He opens it.
I'm positive.
The door swings open. It's not locked. Beyond the golden door, you find Sir Riordan, a small temple, long forlorn. What must have once been beautiful white marble walls have grown yellow with decay and time. There's a set of stairs that can be seen through a shattered door in the back of the temple that seem to lead further upwards. Beside the door, you see 2 crumbled statues of great dragons that once represented the revered god Paladine. They lie in dozens of pieces, scattered angrily across the empty floor. The murals and paintings here have been defiled with blood, with sword, with fire and fury. But most profane of all, Sir Riordan, is a giant flower made of crystal that floats in the center of this place, dominating most of the room. The flower crackles with a voice of its own, shimmers with dark and powerful magic. And within it, wearing an elegant black dress embroidered along one side with the image of a red rose, is the elven warrior Lorana Kanan, the Golden General. Lorana is screaming. Her face is twisted in pain, her eyes wide, and as black as the dress that she wears. She's screaming, but you cannot hear her.
Saya Peru behind Balkan.
He charges.
I am casting to see if Riordan fucking charging is gonna blow open shit.
What spell are you casting?
Minor Eyes of Time, sorry. I do that hopefully a split second before he starts charging.
He starts charging. Sir Riordan begins to charge. The rest of you see him. What's Riordan, when he's charging, what's going through his mind here?
he has to free her. He has to. And he pulls Absolution out and readies it to swing at a weak point, something to free her from this place. He's not without reason. He's just too full of purpose. He's charging.
And Denoria, what are you looking for as you look into the future?
Will he save her or will he die?
You see many versions of the future. You see versions where he attacks the crystal. You see versions where a powerful spell rips his body apart. You see versions where his friends, new and old, try to help him, try to pull him away as he fights them. Greg, are there any versions of the future where Sir Riordan is persuaded to stop?
Yes.
And what does that take?
An order from the general.
Honoria, the only future you see where the general is freed and Sir Riordan is not killed or powerfully hurt by the resulting magics is one where you shatter the crystal. Do you have enough magic? Do you have a powerful spell? Something that can deal a significant amount of damage to its infrastructure?
I could blight it. But if... Don't break formation. If I cast this spell and I fail to break the crystal, I can't rewind time. I can't fix it.
So you see different versions of this where Sir Riordan attacks and you attack, and together the crystal shatters. Versions where it's not enough and Sir Riordan dies or is terribly hurt. There's no surety. The difference is the difference of a footstep being a little longer or a little shorter than the footstep before it. It's just the roll of the dice.
I'm going to, as quickly as I can, use the Honoria's help action, speeding through casting in a way that's almost just slippery and disgusting to Honoria, who likes to have things very precise. Riordan, the crystal! And I'm going to begin casting Blight right away, hoping that the urgency in my voice will get through to him. Azrael, bear here! And I put every ounce of willpower, every ounce of strength I have into destroying the crystal with my last spell.
Sir Riordan, what do you do? We'll go to everyone here.
How many inspirations do I have? I think I have 3.
You have 4.
Okay, he needs to spend 1 to... If he hears Honoria, who he trusts, tell him to break the crystal, that is exactly what he's going to do. And he's going to pull Absolution out, bring it over top of his head, and with everything he has, swing it down at the crystal.
Take your attack with advantage.
I want Absolution.
Come on.
21.
21 will hit.
Dawn, I'm going to pump a superiority die. I'm going to pump my branding smite, and I'm going to max damage everything into 1 strike.
All right. While you're figuring out that damage, because I know that's a lot, just go around in a quick circle. There's just an instant. It's going to be hard for any of you to react. You see Riordan ahead of you rushing in. You hear Honoria shout, begin to cast a spell. Rokon?
So at the footsteps of Riordan, he would have realized what was going through his head. And he sets Lily down, uses a bonus action to go into a rage, and starts charging in the direction that Riordan's charging, having no idea what the possible outcomes are.
Roll me an athletics check, because you're going to have to try to catch up. It's going to be hard. You are faster than Riordan.
29.
As Riordan charges and Honoria casts her spell, Honoria, you feel Rookone blow past you, and Rookone and Sir Riordan are side by side now. Make that attack.
If there's enough distance, can I Goring Rush it?
There's enough distance.
25.
That's a hit. Figure out your damage there.
19.
Nova,
Yes.
are you doing anything here as they run past you?
They look like they're all trying to put one big hit into the crystal. I'll cast Shatter at 3rd level, which deals double damage to non-organic targets.
Mm-hmm.
So...
All right.
17. And I'll stand in front of Lily, too.
She wraps her arms around your leg and she's looking
Mm-hmm.
between your legs. All right. Agatha.
So Agatha reaches into herself, just seeing this all happen in slow motion. And before she's been aware of it, her bow is in her hand. And if you'll let me, Don, I want to slightly twist the feature of the bow. I will give you inspiration to do this. So
Okay.
instead of it reacting, use my reaction as an attack of opportunity when someone's hit. Because I've heard the call, can I use this as like an attack of opportunity with my bow?
Yeah, sure.
And just use that feature?
Yeah, absolutely. As a reaction to Honoria's crying out. Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, shoot with the bow. Not do 6. And as I do that, Misty Step is a free action to appear right beside. Should we need to take a second swing? Because I don't know what's going on.
Cool. So you Misty Step into the room?
Yeah, using that feature of the bow where if I hit, which I assume I would on a 26, I can then Misty Step for free.
Yep.
And I just to that space, just in a blur of mist.
And Avrin.
Seeing all of my friends running, all of their attacks preparing or in slow motion heading towards this crystal, she looks up for a moment and, drawing the maelstrom into her, to use the power of the storm for something good for once. She points her hand and casts Chain Lightning.
And she gains 1d4 corruption.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to roll that.
Yeah.
And you feel magic. You're not sure if it's from your father or something else pull through that scar, those old wounds, and out of your body in a powerful blast of electricity. You only gain 1 corruption. And I see 54 lightning damage. Sir Riordan, Rookone, you both physically smash into the crystal even as magic and arrows are unleashed upon it. Sir Riordan, as you unload your smite, everything you have, and you do max damage on everything, spending your inspirations to do so, how much damage does Sir Riordan do? We're at 159 so far with everybody else.
He does 39.
That is 198. And it's not enough. Crystal shatters. Lorana drops from it, her body writhing on the ground. She's still moving. Powerful black magic, like lightning, arcs from those shattered pieces, striking Rookone and Sir Riordan and Agatha, who are all in the room. Everyone roll me a dexterity saving throw. Those three, just those three.
Fail.
14.
Also 14.
Rookone. So, Rookone. I'm going to roll these separately because it's big damage. Rookone taking half damage. You take 52 necrotic damage, Rookone. Agatha, you take 59 necrotic damage. Are both of you still up?
Yeah.
Sir Riordan, you take 97 necrotic damage. Sir Riordan.
Nope. How many plot armors did you have me at?
You gained... What is it, 30 this episode?
I have 1 hit point.
Oh, no. You haven't taken any damage. You haven't taken any hits. For a moment, there's smoke. That magic lingers and then slowly disperses. Sir Riordan, you open your eyes. You can barely move. But you can move.
He tries to run towards Lorana, but his legs give out, and he drops among the crystal, and he begins to crawl towards her.
Rookone picks him up, puts his arm around his shoulder, and drags him closer.
Agatha will take the other arm.
I'll help out Lily.
Do you allow them, Sir Riordan?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They get you close. Lorana is there on her knees. She's got her hands over her eyes. She's shaking in her dress. Even still, despite what she's been through, her long, flowing golden hair is beautiful. Her delicate features, beautiful. Just darker. Sir Riordan, you're able to get to her.
So he doesn't slip and die. Can I, like, second wind myself on the way, or?
Yeah, yes, absolutely.
Okay, so, sorry, my hands are shaking horribly as I attempt to... 12 hit points. 13. 13. He just falls into her field of vision. General.
She lowers her hands and looks up at you, and for a moment, her eyes, the collars turn black still. That black fades and reveals the eyes that you know, that you remember the first time you met her. And she falls forward into you, and she wraps an arm around the back of your neck. you hear her, you feel her cheek against your face, and you hear her speak not much above a whisper. You came for me. Dennis, you came.
Always. What are your orders, General?
I don't want to ever be away from you again.
A siege it is.
There's the sounds of battle from beyond. New battle. You hear the roar of a dragon. And that's where we're going to end our episode for tonight.
Hey, Riordan. I fucking own you. Yes. Love it when a plan comes together.
Whew. All right, everyone. Well, thank you, everybody in chat, for hanging out with us tonight. I know we had some technical problems, but man, this is a big one. This is a great one. I loved getting everybody together, the team all together at once for the first time. And we had a bunch of polls and stuff that I'll get to here in a minute. But I'm going to go around and give everyone a chance to kind of decompress. Let us know how you're doing. We'll be back with more episodes in a couple of weeks, but I'll get to that in a minute as well. And if you're up to anything cool, please tell us where we can find you and what are the cool things that you are up to. And I'm going to go ahead and start with, Tia.
Hi, guys.
I got a night. I got a night. I got a night. Hey, 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 hey. That was the longest episode we've done so far.
It is, yeah.
Even longer than the flashback episode. Lots of stuff happened. Pretty proud of myself for guessing the gayest at the beginning of the episode. Fuck you, Fistandantulus. I'm scared. I didn't expect Lorana to be here. Not gonna lie. I thought that to get to her, we would have to go through Soth. So that's setting off a lot of things in my mind, going, this is a trap. This is the trap. This is a trap. I don't know what else to say. Congratulations on getting married in now what I'm assuming is 8 days for you. I will miss you on the break, but I will also be cheering your guys' names from the rooftops. And I am just really, really excited to have Riordan, because he promised a fucking knight's promise. So, you're mine. You can find me on the internet, Real Players. I'm on a bunch of stuff. Just click on my name in chat. Love ya.
Awesome. Yes. There are a lot of great interactions this episode with people meeting for the first time. And I thought people's reactions and to Noria's reactions to people were all super cool because, she's a hard person to know how to take. And she's also beyond the point where she's maybe hiding as much as she was earlier on in the story. She's a little more confident and willing to be herself to people, which I think is really, really interesting. So I love that.
Meeting Kender was great. I had no idea how that was going to play out. I know as a player how I feel about Kender, but I think it felt very Dragonlance to me, which was the most important.
Yeah, I agree a lot. Also, let's go on over to Charlie. How are you doing, Charlie?
I am doing pretty good. I want to explain why I chose the bow and what was going on in Agatha's head. Because tonight she watched a father die in the middle of a town. And she said to a little girl that she had to survive or it would all be for nothing. And that dwarven bow means a lot to Agatha. And so in my head, she didn't even consciously summon it. It was just there. And she took the shot because it mattered. And that's why she used the bow and not a spell and not anything else. Because she had a promise to keep to her father. In fact, to 2 fathers. So that's what she was doing. And I am so blown away that we finally all got to meet. And I really thought Riordan and Agatha would get along, but apparently they don't yet. But we'll work on it, you know. We'll get there.
I saw that coming from a mile away.
2
I almost
sides,
actually
similar
said that
coin.
you got to earn it line right before Riordan did. And I was so happy that you guys had that interaction. That was the funniest shit.
And I think it's going to be real interesting seeing if what we decided to do was the right thing to do. Because this is just the beginning. And bad things are coming, but good things are coming. Congratulations to Don and Edelyn. So hyped. And hyped to everyone getting to go to the cons as well that are coming up. Have a great time, play lots of games, play together, have a good time. Jealous I can't be there, but just so grateful that I can't be here tonight and have gotten to play with this amazing crew. I can't wait for Agatha and Averin to actually interact. That's gonna be real interesting. But I mean, at least Averin knows there's a great big army she'll fit right into, right? Shout out to everyone in chat who has also been awesome in supporting this season and series and who have taken part, and I can't wait to see the guests. Tonight was the last night for people to sign up to be guests. I know we've got this huge roster of really awesome people coming in. And yeah, thank you so much for inviting me to this universe. I can't wait to see what happens with the rest of it.
I love Agatha, and I love, like Riordan has a very rigid view of what's right and what's wrong. Agatha does too, but it's completely different, and I love it. Having a dwarf with her background and her life experiences on the crew provides a different perspective, which I think is really interesting. And yeah, I'm very excited to see where things go from here. But yeah, Kiana, how are you doing? You almost ate a little boy.
Yeah, that was fun.
I thought so.
Man, this episode, there was so much that happened. My feels were all over the place, but it was so good. It was amazing to have everyone together, and the synergy that we already had right from the start. That was amazing. As for Averin, she's finally kind of coming to terms that she's a vampire, that she's a monster to a lot of people, and she's just real tired, but she's gonna do anything for her friends. And if that is harnessing the actual maelstrom to try to help Sir Riordan, she will do that for him.
That shook me up.
So, yeah, this is kind of a turning point for her. She said she kind of told her dad to fuck off last episode, and now she's figuring out who she is right now. So that's going to be fun. And I'm excited to see how the end game goes. But yeah, until a couple weeks from now, you guys find me over on Twitter at KennaS. Best way to figure out what I'm doing, because I'm doing all sorts of role-playing things, whether that's streaming or writing or just shouting into the void. That is Twitter. If you're in London, Ontario this weekend at Forest City Comic Con, I am paneling there. I'm talking about safety tools in tabletop games with Lauren, that nice JL Nice Girl on Twitter. So we are going to have a panel there at 4 p.m. on Saturday. So if you're around, come say hi. We have a whole awesome talk with some handouts and all sorts of fun things there. Also, we do have a coffee to help raise funds for our printing, because we're doing this out of our own pocket. So come support us there, and we'll also be recording it for those of you who can't make it. So yeah, that's really what's happening other than that. And man, I love this game so much. Can't wait for more of it.
Yay. Yeah, I really loved Oberyn's choices tonight. I thought were really, really interesting. I love the moment at the end. And I really actually liked the moment with the kid too. I thought about it afterwards where you guys were having a conversation. My brain kind of drifted back and I was like, man, if that had actually been a young elven boy, half elven boy, and she had drank his mind, and Sir Riordan had turned the corner and watched Oberyn murder a child, I think he would have killed her or tried.
I think that would have been a cue.
Yeah, and so honestly, I like what I imagined as a trap. Not thinking that you would be the one to go there and that you would choose to feed. I was just expecting someone to open the door and then I'd spring my draconian trap. But that actually probably might have saved Oberyn's life. The fact that it wasn't a child. So I thought that was a lot of fun. It was great. Lindy, how are you doing?
I'm doing super spiffy. That was fun. I'm really glad nobody died. Head rush there at the end. I was like gripping the edge of my desk. But I'm so glad the group's all finally together. We got to meet everybody. Honoria and Nova got along better than I expected them to. So that was a pleasant surprise. Yeah, I'm still processing and absorbing everything. So much happened today. Oh my goodness. And then I'm just gonna have to marinate on that dragon coming on in for next week. But yeah, just wonderful, wonderful, amazing things with a wonderful, wonderful, and amazing people. And early congratulations, Don. I know your wedding's gonna be awesome, and I'll get to celebrate with you in person in a couple weeks. So
yeah.
I guess you can find me online at Laugh Live Lindy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, doing lots of tabletop RPG stuff. A little bit of Ravenloft on my channel on Tuesday nights. So if you like spooks and drama, check that out because they're about to fight a mummy, and it's gonna be great.
Awesome. Yes. If you guys get a chance on Tuesday nights, whenever I have a night off work on Tuesdays, I try to tune into the Ravenloft show because it's pretty awesome. So do check that guy out, guys. Let's go over to Bill. Bill, this is a great episode for you. It was a great episode for everybody. And it's kind of been like so much happened between meeting and everything that happened in the castle and everything that happened before. But I think maybe my favorite part was those early scenes, Sir Riordan's story to the dragon, Honoria's facing Fistandantilus, and then her conversation with Oberyn, which I thought was really, really interesting about Oberyn's father, Fistandantilus, and then the scene in the cabin with the three of you trying to reconcile how to help this child that you didn't know before who just lost her father. I thought that a lot of that was really, really compelling and interesting stuff. And I wasn't expecting it to be as much of an integral part, a big part of the episode as it was, but I was really glad that it was. Anyways, how are you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Trying to figure out how to raise a fictional kid. Because let me tell you, cats are way easier. I thought I had it rough, but I was wrong. This was an awesome episode. Totally worth being up this late because it never stopped. It was really, really great. All the interactions and now like the teams all together, which is awesome. So I love that the battle bros now have a trench wench and we can be the disaster bastards, which is really nice. That was super cool. Everyone's adding like so much. Like the vibe is like, it's very rare you could be in a situation where the vibe is like a volcano, like on point for 6 hours straight. And this is one of those places. So there's like something really fucking special about this. It's really cool. And then also you, Don, being awesome dungeon master storyteller. Congratulations on getting married. I got a little something put together for a wedding present, but it involves me getting down there, stripping naked and going into the swamp, killing an alligator and skinning it for you at the rehearsal dinner. So I just didn't want anyone to be upset at that.
I think Edelyn isn't watching it. I think she might have fallen asleep, so we'll just never mention that again.
All right. Yeah, that's fine. Until it happens. And then, yeah, super stoked for that. That's going to be an awesome time, and congratulations again, Bub. If you like a person that tweets 3 times a week, you could follow me on Bill of the Forest on Twitter.
I've got the rest of them, bro. Don't worry.
For like if you just like a relaxing time on Twitter and maybe a random shareable stupid survey, yeah, give me a follow. Other than that, I'm up to nothing else. This is my biggest pride and joy that I'm involved in right now, and I'm putting 100% of my energy into this. It's 100% worthwhile. Thanks to everybody who's watching on VOD, having a great time. Your contributions are felt, and your views are felt, and your likes are felt. And everybody in chat right now. It's super fun interacting with you guys. You guys are the coolest fucking group of people. And can't wait to be back to do this for y'all again in a couple weeks.
Yeah, me neither. Before we do the end thing here, let's go over to Greg. Greg, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing great. And we didn't get a chance. I'm going to go ahead because I have 1 hit point and I made it. So even though this is something we made for something else, let's let it rain. Are they coming?
Yes.
Are they working? Is it not working? Oh, come on. It's not working. Damn. Are you kidding me? Oh, wait. Hold on. Let it work. There it comes. Let the black rose petals fall. Oh, I got 1 hit point. I said I had 68 hit points. I knew I had 20 plot armor. And I knew if I had 30, I'd have 98 hit points and 1 hit point left. What? I'm telling you.
For another 4, it would have been fine.
What?
Good thing you never got hit earlier.
I never get hit. Anywho, Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team here on the Twitch. Had an absolute blast. Mirror what everybody here has said. What a great community we have that are supporting us with their views, with their donations, and with their love and passion for Dawn's story. This is the best. I get to play with all of these fantastic people. We finally got to join everybody up. It was awesome. We got to Lorana. I felt that whole like legend, Tom Cruise, Mia Sarah vibe. You know, I was waiting for like Tim Curry to come out like Satan, which that's Soth basically. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I couldn't love it anymore. This was the best. I'm done. I've got 1 hit point. Back to you, Dawn. Back to you.
The hit point will probably come. Hit point will probably come in handy versus the dragon, or whatever happens. You know.
I don't get hit though, man. It's okay.
Oh yeah. You don't have to answer this, but I am curious. When Lorana called you Tanis, called Sir Riordan Tanis, did he hear that name or did he hear his own name?
Dude, I didn't hear that name.
I didn't hear that either.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear Tanis at all.
Might be worth going back and listening on VOD.
I didn't hear that at all, man. So yeah, that's a genuine reaction. So if you said that, awesome. I didn't hear it. So that's all that's as far as Riordan's concerned. That's what she said, Riordan. That's what Greg thinks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I love this episode. There's a lot that happened. We accomplished a lot. And I can't wait to be back in a few weeks. I'm getting married next week, so I'm going to be gone, away, trying to unplug from the internets. But you can still follow me at Donathan Fry on Twitter if you don't. I tweet about other games that I'm playing. Tomorrow, Charlie and I are doing Game of Thrones. It's a really great game on RPG Webby's channel. If you guys like Game of Thrones and aren't tired of it yet, I like our version of it. It takes place 100 years before the series that we are all familiar with. And there's plenty of intrigue and occasional murders, which is the way I like it. I write stuff. I'll tweet about the stuff that I write. I have a lot of projects up and coming that I think are super cool and we'll talk about as soon as I'm allowed to. But that's it for me. Thank you all for hanging out so long tonight. Chat for being so awesome and so energetic. Players for just bringing so much life to your characters and making such awesome, interesting choices all the time. I love it. I felt like this is a long episode, but honestly, I felt like I was an observer for half of it because of everything you guys were doing was so just driving everything forward. Yeah, I loved it. We're going to get to the end here, but first I do want to call out the polls that we had because we had 4 of them tonight. Sir Riordan won the poll from last week that was a holdover. He gains an automatic 10 redemption. So redemption, when you hit 10, something happens. You don't know what it is. Rookon's already had it happen to him. It's unique for each character. So we'll see how that affects the story moving forward.
Do we know it's like, hey, this happened now? Or are we supposed to know?
If you guys want to know, I'll tell you. But if you want to just like have it happen and have it be part of your story without, I don't want to make you feel like something that happened that's good was unearned because you guys earn everything. Your characters go through hell quite frequently. So it's up to you. But if you ask me privately, I'll tell you if you're interested. Rookon, you gain 1d4 redemption from one of our polls. So go ahead and roll 1d4 for me right now.
Is that athletics?
No. Honoria and Nova, you tied for gaining corruption, which means you both gain 1d4 corruption.
Big money. Yes.
So Rookon gains 4 redemption. Honoria gains 4 corruption. And Nova gains 1 corruption. Nova and Honoria, what's that put you guys at? Just out of curiosity. 1.
Because I got 10 last week.
Right. And what's that put Honoria at?
I have no...
Oh, I'll tell you. I have your thing.
I'm at 7 corruption.
Just put you at 7. You're getting closer. You're getting closer to what you really want.
I'm trying.
There was one more poll, which was our second redemption poll, and Honoria won the second redemption poll. So Honoria gains 10 redemption.
Get those red robes out, everybody! Break them out! Iron them up! Steam them sons of bitches! And hand them off to our now neutral wizard. That's the big surprise.
That's the real plot twist.
Weird.
Or a box.
Like I said, I'll if you want to know what it is, I'll tell you. Just ask me privately. Otherwise, it'll just come into play in the story organically, hopefully.
Okay, I'm
those
chill.
are our polls. Everyone, roll me charisma saving throws.
Oh no. Can we use inspiration on these?
Oh no.
I didn't think so, but I figured I would ask again.
Oh, these are good. All right.
19 for Sir Riordan.
19 for Agatha.
19 for Rookon, 9 for Honoria, and 9 for Nova, and 17 for Avren. Honoria and Nova roll 1d4.
Yes!
2 totally different reactions.
Honoria, you gain 4 more corruption. What does that mean?
I'm at 11 corruption, so I believe I
That's
switched
right.
over to chaotic evil and gain a level.
You switch over to chaotic evil and gain a level. You were back where you started at last.
I'm at 2 corruption.
You're at 2 corruption. Yeah, you got off easy. You had the opposite results.
I got really corrupt last week. Like I got all of it, so.
Wait, are the crit on these rolls still go into effect?
They do. So so that's a good thing to notice. If you roll a natural 20, then you have the option to shift in the opposite direction. So Rokon, you rolled a natural 20. You're currently
Neutral.
good. Do you want to go to lawful good? You have that option.
Yep.
Yes! Yes!
Rokon, you also gain a level.
Wait, who does?
You do.
What the fuck?
Wait, since when? What?
Because he has maxed out his path to lawful good. He gains a level. He went all the way. Did you start at chaotic neutral? No, you started at true neutral, right?
I was chaotic neutral. No, I was
neutral,
lawful.
yeah.
I was lawful neutral and then shifted to
Then you went
neutral.
down, and then you went back up, and then you went
Yeah.
back up again.
Yeah.
So you fought hard. You fought hard to get to where you are. That's it for us, folks. That's all I have, at least. Thank you all once again. I'm excited for a couple of weeks of vacation, but I'm going to miss this story, miss this show. We went extra long tonight to make sure we got a real good story, brought everybody together. We'll slow things down a little bit. This is the final season of the show. We do have a lot of awesome people coming in to guest here and there. I'm going to take my time with it, though. So I'm not going to rush to the end. We can, make sure that everybody is getting their full story, because I love these characters so much. And however this ends, hopeful or tragic, I definitely want to give you all your due. You're amazing. So thank you for everything tonight. That's it. Greg, it's all you, man.
Oh, fantastic. Again, a big round for Dawn for both getting married and delivering a fantastic story here. And everybody in chat, all these fantastic cast members for staying up so late. For my job tomorrow, for whenever I call in late. That's going to be great. So, hey, but as the campfire goes down, there's only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s unless you're my bro battle bull Rokon. Then you can roll a 20 and you're lawful good with me. Can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always role play. We'll see you next time, Legion.